The text message appeared on my screen when I was tasting cake samples for a client. It was from my older sister, Danielle. I wiped the vanilla buttercream from my fingers, expecting a question about her wedding invitations or the seating chart. My heart sunk when I read the words. Hey, Sophia. So sorry, but we've had to make some really tough cuts to the guest list. Mark's family is huge, and the venue is strict on numbers. There's just no place for you at the wedding anymore. Hope you understand. I read it 3 times. The words didn't change. No place for you. It was so casual, so cold, like she was canceling a lunch reservation, not disinviting her own sister from the most important day of her life. My hands started to tremble. I was Sophia Reed, 29 years old, and I had built a successful wedding planning business, Sophia's Wows, from nothing. For the past 8 months, I had been pouring my soul into Danielle's wedding as my gift to her. I had negotiated with vendors, designed the floral arrangements, and managed the budget, all for free. I was the architect of her dream day, and now I was being told I wasn't even welcome to see it happen. I immediately called my mother, my voice shaking. Mom, did you see Danielle's text? She uninvited me. There was a long, heavy pause. Sophia, honey, you know how expensive these things are. Danielle and Mark had to make some difficult decisions. It's not personal. Please don't make this harder for her. Not personal? I choked out. I've planned her entire wedding. I've spent thousands of hours on this. That was a very generous gift, she replied, her voice turning sharp. But a gift doesn't come with strings attached. Please be the bigger person. It's her day. I hung up, feeling a cold void open up inside me. There was no ally there. I called Danielle directly. It went to voicemail twice before she picked up, sounding breathless and irritated. Sophia, what? I'm in the middle of a dress fitting. The text, Danielle, you're uninviting me via text? She sighed dramatically. Look, it's a numbers game. Mark's aunt from Florida decided to come at the last minute with her 3 kids. It would cause a huge family drama if we said no. You live here. You'll get over it. I planned your entire wedding, I cried, the hurt finally breaking through. I found the vineyard you loved. I got you a 20% discount with the photographer. And we're grateful, she said, her voice dripping with condescension I knew all too well. But the guest list is my decision. Anyway, since I have you on the phone, the final payment for the band is due tomorrow. Can you take care of that? You put down the deposit, so it's easier if you just handle the balance. The audacity was breathtaking. Not only was I banished, but I was still expected to work and pay for the privilege. The final insult came a week later, via Instagram. A photo popped up from my aunt. Bridal shower for the most beautiful bride-to-be. So much love for Danielle. It was a picture of all the female relatives and bridesmaids laughing in the gorgeous garden of the country club I had booked for her. They were all wearing the matching silk pajamas I had helped pick out. I was the only one missing. The captions solidified it. The inner circle. I was, and had always been, on the outside. But the moment of true clarity came 10 days before the wedding. My phone rang. It was Danielle, her voice a hysterical shriek. Sophia, it's a disaster. The caterer just called. They had a fire in their kitchen. They're canceling. The wedding is in 10 days. You have to fix this. You have to find someone else. There was no please. No, I'm sorry. just a frantic demand from the person who had thrown me away. I felt a strange, powerful calm settle over me. "I'm not your wedding planner anymore, Danielle," I said, my voice even and quiet. The silence on the other end was deafening. Then it erupted. "You selfish bitch, you're enjoying this, aren't you? You're happy that my wedding is ruined." I didn't respond. I simply hung up. In the profound silence of my apartment, I made a decision. I wasn't going to cry. I wasn't going to beg. I was going to do what I do best: execute a flawless plan. I opened my laptop and went to a travel site. I booked a one-way ticket to Bali, Indonesia, leaving the morning of her wedding. I then booked a stunning villa overlooking the ocean for 2 weeks. But the escape was only part one. What my family had forgotten, or more likely never bothered to learn, was the nature of my business. I didn't just plan pretty parties. I managed complex, legally binding contracts. And every single contract for Danielle's wedding, the vineyard, the 5-star caterer, the one who supposedly had a fire, the florist, the band, was signed by me, Sophia Reed, on behalf of Sophia's Wows LLC. The deposits, which they saw as my generous gift, were business expenditures. The final balances, totaling over $25,000, were due in full 7 days before the event. I called my lawyer, a formidable woman named Elena. I spread the contracts out on my desk. "They're legally obligated to you," she confirmed, scanning the documents. "The final payment clause is standard. If the balance isn't paid by the deadline, the contract is void and the deposits are forfeited, or, in your case, refundable to you. You hold all the power here, Sophia. They treated your profession like a hobby. It's time to show them it's a business." That afternoon, I drafted emails to every single vendor. They were polite, professional, and utterly final. "Dear vendor name, this email serves as official notification that Sophia's Wows LLC will not be remitting the final payment for the event dated wedding date, as the client, Danielle Anderson, has terminated our services. Please consider all contracts null and void immediately. Please process the refund of the initial deposit to the account on file. Thank you for understanding. Sincerely, Sophia Reed, owner." I scheduled the emails to send at 9:01 a.m. the next morning, 1 week to the day before the wedding. The storm hit around noon. My phone exploded. First, it was Danielle, screaming, "The vineyard just called. They said the wedding is canceled. What did you do?" Then my mother, sobbing, "Sophia, how could you? You've destroyed your sister's life." Then my father, roaring with fury, "You will fix this right now. This is your family." I waited for the cacophony to subside. When I finally spoke, my voice was a calm, steady blade. "I didn't destroy anything," I said. "Danielle told me there was no place for me at her wedding, so I removed my services, my contracts, and my financial backing. The wedding you planned doesn't exist without me. It was my creation, and I've taken it back." "But the deposits," my mother wailed. "We can use that money to try and save it." "The deposits," I said calmly, "were paid from my business account. The refunds are already being processed back to Wool. You have no venue, no food, no music, and no money. You have exactly what you ask for: a wedding without me in it." The silence that followed was the most satisfying sound I had ever heard. It was the sound of their entire world collapsing under the weight of their own entitlement. The morning of Danielle's wedding day, I was sipping fresh coconut water on my private villa terrace in Bali, watching the sun rise over the Indian Ocean. My phone was off. I later learned from a cousin that my family had frantically tried to throw together a pathetic reception in my parents' backyard. It had rained. The band was a kid with a Bluetooth speaker. The food was deli platters from the grocery store. I didn't feel happy about their misery. I felt free. I had finally broken the cycle of allowing them to use me. They lost a daughter and a sister that day, but I found myself. And I discovered that the most beautiful event I would ever plan was the rest of my life, on my own terms. If you've ever had to walk away from people who only valued you for what you could do for them, know that you are not alone. Where are you watching from? Share your story of finding freedom in the comments below. And if you need a reminder that it's okay to choose yourself, make sure to subscribe. Your peace is the most important event you'll ever plan.